GSL Season 2.
Oh, we're so back, guys. Welcome. It is time to go to the other side of the bracket. Hero awaits the winner of this upcoming match. We've got a TVT for you guys. You really couldn't ask for two better Terran players, really ever. Maru and Cure duking it out.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun one, and honestly, I have no idea who's going to take it. If you ask me basically any other year in GSL's history, I would expect Maru to win. But Maru, he hasn't looked quite as invulnerable lately in the GSL.
Yeah, he also, Cure just looks extremely good.
Yeah.
Cure looks really, really solid. You got to imagine for a guy like Cure, it's been so frustrating to basically always be overshadowed by Maru. To have these moments where, like, God, he looks like if Maru didn't exist, Cure would be like the guy for Terran in Korea, literally. Like, he would be, like, he's undisputedly the second best amongst the Terran players. And we've got a lot of great Terran players here in Korea. But, you know, we're going to see if history repeats itself like it oftentimes does, by the way, in GSL. You know, could Maru win another GSL here tonight? It's certainly a possibility. Or will Cure win in an upset?
Honestly, no matter who advances from the semifinals, it's going to be an excellent grand final. But I'm so curious who's going to take it. I expect this one to go all the way down to a wire. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Game 4, Game 5 take place between these two.
Yeah.
I think they're very evenly matched, even if Maru's best matchup is TVT.
Yeah, I mean, Maru, I think when you're in a region like Korea, which has just, again, got strong Terrans, the player with the best TVT is going to come out on top. And his, TVT has basically lasted through the ages of great Terran players. I mean, going all the way back to, like, Innovation. Remember seeing those guys face off a bunch. So we're going to see what we're going to have, with these two here now. But again, if it's anything like the past, Maru is going to win. But, don't count Cure out is all we're saying.
It feels like historically between these two in the early and mid game in TVT, Cure usually has the edge, but he's almost always kind of on a timer, right? Because Maru's just the king of late game TVT, and trying to play versus somebody where if you psych yourself out, like, I can't let them get to this stage of the game, I need to end the game now. If the other guy knows that too, it's a really dangerous way to play.
Well, Maru really, and even though this isn't what you really see as much in TVT, that kind of exhaust play. I mean, he seems to be the most stamina-rich player that we have in GSL, right? Like, he's just completely fine with the entire map getting mined out, playing, very, very, okay, like, let me rephrase it. Like, okay, I didn't kill you with my initial push, then I'm not going to push the whole time. And so TVT, a lot of times, I mean, it can go on and on and on. Also, a very unforgiving matchup, even though we do have short TVTs sometimes, that it can be decided on. With these glass cannon-y armies, one player engages the other in a way where they lose horribly the fight, and the game snowballs from there.
So much of it comes down to Ravens and just air control, too, in the current meta of TVT, just because being able to interference matrix all of your opponents, whether it be siege tanks or whatever other vital unit they have in their composition, it can kind of turn any fight on its head. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of this series just kind of hinge on the early game, with Cure trying to execute a lot of two-base timing pushes and Maru basically trying to defend them. Because I do give the edge in the late game to Maru 9 times out of 10. But Cure, he's come through with some really clever builds, especially in TVT. I've been loving the 2-port Viking build that he goes for, where it's almost like a mech push off of 2 bases, and you try and set up a soft contain or even try to breach the natural expansion of the opponent. I think we'll probably see that a couple of times, but it's been in the meta for a while now. So it could be something that Maru's already cooked up a response to.
Yeah, and just like we were talking about earlier in our previous matchup, whatever TVT builds these guys have right now, we're going to see the best of them here. I think we're ready for that interview now.
All right, this is Maru and Cure. The first Maru, hi. Oh, round of applause, please.
항상 제가 우리 조성주 선수 보면은 그 이제 좀 레이지한 매력이 있다.
I always see you, Maru. Every time I see you, like, you always have that appeal, that lazy-ish attract. You lazy-ish charm. Well,
지난 얘기긴 합니다만 조금
this is,
분명히 아쉬움이 있었을 것 같거든요. 이 부분에
last
대한
season,
생각 좀 들려주세요.
of course, is gone, but still, I think you still have some remorse on the last season.
그렇군요. 근데
Well, actually, coming to offline semifinals and finals is actually was my initial goal, so I don't really feel that bad.
잘 모르겠네요. 아니 조성주라고 한다면 사실
Well,
리딩
you know,
레전드인데
Maro, you're the living
이게,
legend.
뭐두 달에 한 번도 아니고
I mean,
적어도 한 2주에 한 번 정도 올라와야
actually, you have to like get to the finals like 2 weeks in 2 weeks in a row, like once in 2 weeks. But you haven't been in a GSL finals in 2 years, so that's gonna be sting a little.
좀 이런 말씀이신 것 같은데 우리 김동원 해설위원
Well, actually, I don't know about that. Like, I don't feel anything that much.
김동 선수는 빌드의 심리전과 그런 것 때문에 상당히 부담이 좀 많았을 것 같은데 준비하면서 차라리 내가 토스를
Well, Young, you have a question? Yeah, actually, I do. I mean, Cure has a lot of builds, and there's a lot of like strategies in his sleeve, so it wasn't that bother you much. So, well, yeah, so think he has a lot of builds in TVT, so I've considered about playing Protoss, but if that happens, I might end up being a Gumiho, so yeah, so I'd rather not.
지난 시즌도 그렇습니다만
Alright, Cure.
준결승에 올라와 있는 선수들 가운데서 시드를 받지 못한 거죠. 12강을 거쳐서 또 8강
So you're the only one among in the semifinals that you have to go through the round of 12. So you had to go through a lot of TVT. So are you confident?
항상 성주가
I mean, yeah, I'm always confident, but
그걸 좀 조심해야 될 것 같아요.
예.
well, I'm always confident, but actually Maru did a lot of, you know,
조성주 상대로 승률이 그렇게 좋지가 않아요.
a lot of unorthodox builds. So yeah, I think I have to be aware about that.
조성주 선수를 만나면 왜 이렇게 자신감이 없어지는지 그런 이유를 좀 물어봐도 될까요?
Well, you have a lot of struggle against Maru in the offline BO5s. So what's the reason behind that?
제가 평소에 중후반 위주로 연습을 많이 안 했어가지고 그랬던
Well, I think TVT is about late game, mid game to late game macro, but I haven't practiced a lot of that. And that being said, I have been really preparing for that, and I think Maru is not on the edge of reform of the late game at all. So yeah, I'm trying to overcome that. So let's get to the prediction now. It's like it's 71 versus 29. So what do you think about that, Cure?
성주랑 하면 어쩔 수 없이 모든 게이머가 밀린다고
I mean, I think it's inevitable. It's against Maru. You'll get behind, honestly. Like you're the underdog against Maru always. But you know,
조성주 선수는 지금
I mean, against Maru, like you have to be underdog. So like, I think who prepared the most will overcome. So, well, we'll see about that. So Maru, any thoughts? Well, I mean, I'm the overdog, but last time I was the overdog, but I lost. So yeah, so number is a number.
두 선수 인터뷰 좀 나눠봤고요. 오늘 멋진 경기 좀 기대를 하겠습니다.
So good luck, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddox. Excellent work as always. We're ready to go into this match. We've seen this match so many times before.
I've seen it in GSL finals, seen it in GSL semifinals, the round of 8, the round of 16, Maru versus Cure. A tale as old as time, and
it's kind of in a matchup that is always inevitable.
Yeah.
If you're in GSL, right? These two guys are eventually gonna fight each other, sometimes eliminate each other.
It feels like almost any single GSL in the past 5 or 6 years, you're expecting to see both of these guys in the top 4. So inevitably they will face off. Historically, Maru, it feels like he basically always wins versus Cure. Cure's had a couple of upsets versus him overall. And I kind of like what Cure said, where whenever you go up against a match, let me rephrase that, whenever you go up against Maru in a match like this one, you're going to be the underdog. But I hope he doesn't let that get to him too much.
Well, you know, he seems pretty cool and collected, right? I mean, you know, this is one of the things about this guy is it's not, maybe it was a little bit different with Shin being in our finals again as an example, where it's like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Shin never gets to the finals. You know, I think he's only done it twice now. Is he going to maybe win this time as an example? I think Maru and Cure, these guys have fought so many times before. Again, Maru generally coming out on top, but Kira could take it. No matter what, we're going to get an amazing finals.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun as Maru is looking at, God, is that right, his potential 9th GSL championship. I mean, my goodness, Maru. This has been his tournament. Maru's played in
This is
the
9th
GSL
championship,
since,
my God.
How young was Maru when he played in his first GSL? He was a
We
baby.
called it a 9SL. I remember when he first played and he was such a little kid, like such a tiny little baby that it was like, yeah, it was just.
He might still be the youngest player to ever qualify for a GSL. I'm not sure. I'm struggling to think of anybody else who's been able to do it, but he's basically grown up playing in the GSL.
Well, I think he was like in middle school age.
Was it actually middle school? Oh my God.
I
That
think
would blow my mind. He was definitely on the precipice, man. He was a young kid.
Yeah.
Going up on the GSL
Well,
stage.
whenever you
and
get like a
taking games
new
off
game,
of folks,
yeah,
it
you have a
was
couple people that are
wild.
like they're so young. And then of course there was Clem on the other side of the world that was also so young, right?
Yeah, Rainer had the same thing.
Yeah. Is there a age limit on for competing in StarCraft? Isn't it
I
like
think there-
15 or something? Or there was a rule from?
I'm not sure if there's an overarching rule. I think like certain countries have rules.
It might
I'm
be
not
in
sure.
Europe. I could be wrong. I thought maybe
Yeah,
in
15
Europe.
sounds right to me.
Yeah, where like there was some people that were good, and they're like, well, they actually in Europe, I think they couldn't compete. I don't know. I have to go back and actually look at that. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that we have this conversation when we discuss a player like Maru or Rainer is it's kind of crazy. Anyway, folks, map number 1 in this best-of-5 semifinal between Maru and Cure about to kick off on Tourmaline. Will Maru try and contest his 9th GSL championship, or will Cure confirm the upset here versus the greatest Terran player of all time?
Okay, Maru top right, Cure bottom left. The fans now getting their cheers in for each of the players.
Been missing this doing the online broadcast, man. Having a live audience like this, it's great.
It definitely brings my energy levels up. You know, TBT, it is, there's many ways to play the early game. There's many ways to play the late game. We have had some people going for mech, but a lot of this has been these kind of mid-game skirmishes. Historically, going all the way back into StarCraft 1, this was the matchup that took the longest. That's changed a bit. It was also in StarCraft 2 the matchup that took the longest. That also changed a bit. Chicago loves Maru. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
From
Germany.
Germany.
Fans here. Yeah, great to see you, all of you guys here from all over the world. So yeah, you know, one thing that's always been kind of funny is when you have two players that have played each other a lot. And I mean, you know, when it comes to the Korea scene, there's a lot of, and you know, obviously StarCraft 2 is like biggest as far as tournaments in Korea first, right? It's why like a lot of the foreign players, many of them are like expats that live here, like State and I. You know, a lot of people are coming out here to compete, coming out here to train. And so some of these guys they've been playing StarCraft 2 their whole lives, and they've been fighting each other for like, you know, almost 2 decades now, which is crazy to think. And so I'm always interested when you have two players that like really have so much experience against each other and play all the time, whether that be, you know, these random encounters on ladder or high stakes moments like this here in the GSL. How do they try to adjust and recalibrate facing each other? You know, they know each other's ticks and the way they play so well.
I'm sure there's a lot of metagaming going on behind the scenes. And these are two players who, you know, they're going to be close friends. They're going to discuss builds together. They are the top 2 Terran players in Korea and have been for, frankly, as long as I can remember. You know, it's been like a decade plus with Maru and Kira effectively on top. And so they're likely going to have very similar ideas for how to play this matchup as well as other matchups. Their players are going to feed on each other's knowledge. And coming into this one, you can kind of see that already. The build orders are completely identical all the way through about the 3-minute mark, which says a lot in a TBT like this one. TBT famously has been kind of the mirror matchup that has the most wide variety of opening build orders out of all of the mirror matchups in StarCraft 2. And here we have completely identical openings in game at number 1, just waiting to see where the first deviation is going to be.
Okay, So the two Hellions and the Reaper are going to move out on the map here. Now, right now, Maru's positionally playing very defensively. So this shouldn't get too much done. Both sides start their Raven. The CC is about to land over here. He's going to try to nick the Reaper, but backs up.
And you have to imagine that as Cure moves forward and sees two Hellions and a Reaper on the low ground, and I believe also the command center floating in at that moment, he's going to know that this is effectively the same build that he's going for. So Cure instead just going to pull back now, set these Hellions up in a concave. I like Maru moving out into the bushes here to the center.
Hey, this works a lot.
Yeah.
You got one player that's being a little bit too active on the map. Now we have to Cure going for a Raven here, getting his first, and now they're going to get his second here. Both going for double Raven.
Cure fired up Interference Matrix a little bit faster than Maru, but Maru certainly is going to be going for this as well.
Yeah. Now maybe there's some kind of timing with his Interference Matrix and the two Ravens where you can do something before your opponent. I don't know if this is a setup for some kind of attack. He's going to send his Raven out. It's also extremely common to see the Raven sent out for auto turrets.
Yeah, now Kira went into a tech lab and a Cyclone here, whereas Maru made two more Hellions. So Maru's actually going to try and go for a bust with this one, dropping an auto turret here on the front. Kira has his second Raven, finished just in time. So with the second auto turret, he's able to hold on to defense despite the fact that Maru has better numbers. When all is said and done, it's a pretty small trade.
Yeah, a lot of damaged Hellions. We'll see if he goes back and tries to repair that. He is getting Cyclones here, so he's going to send several SCVs out here to repair that all back up. Third command center starts. Here for Cure, we don't see the third CC yet. I mean, we're either going to see one of two things. We're going to see his third CC, or we're going to see him power up with his own two-base push. And it's going to be a later third CC.
Both players continuing to develop with that third command center now. Cure throwing down two more barracks. He's starting the full bio transition, just a touch ahead of Maru. And already with three Ravens out here for Cure. Likely going to be starting up Viking production in just a bit. See the reactor being produced right now on that starport. Maru moving forward once again. Might try and get some damage done. Cure once more with a very good defensive setup. I like this arc.
Yeah. Is Maru going to have some kind of a timing to come in here? Both sides with the three Ravens. He's going to come in from the side. Nothing is triggered on either side here. He does not end up casting any auto turrets preemptively. The tank is going to come down. He is beginning to hit.
All right, auto turrets drop here for Cure. Maru dropping his a little bit later, so the initial engagement, it's better for Cure. Just slightly more cost effective. The problem is that Maru now has a siege tank here on the front line, so Cure, he's scrambling to repair these units. More auto turrets dropping here for Maru, who saved more energy than Cure.
You know, and he basically, baited out those auto turrets and then saved his own. He's going to try to pull in a little bit further here. He's going to land the Vikings. I don't know if he has quite enough to break this. SCVs are going to be pulled here.
The siege tanks are not in range of each other, so Maru is able to entrench himself pretty nicely. Oh, actually with a scan, are they? No, it's
no, they're just out of range. This is getting a little bit scary here. 5 SCVs have already been taken out here. He's actually going to be hitting like the Ravens and the medevac and everything. He needs to get an SCV over here to repair this if he could. He doesn't want to move too far away here from where the Vikings are, because he might have to land the Vikings like he does right now.
Yeah, Cure with the Unsiege and SCV pull right now, trying to shoo Maru away from this position, trying to break free, and Cure will succeed, but at the cost of 9 SCVs. So Maru behind this retains the healthier Viking count, and now has significantly more workers than his opponent.
Okay, so Stim's done. This is looking certainly better for Maru. I mean, he just has more workers. He's traded more effectively. You know, already he's gotten his jabs in here against Cure. Cure isn't dead by any means. He might even have some counterplay. He's been playing more conservatively this whole time. It's interesting to see that Maru just kind of knows how to engage and how to take these exchanges to where he comes out just slightly ahead.
Yeah, I think Cure is making a wise decision by trying to get aggressive now with these 4 medevacs, because if he lets the game quiet down and Maru eventually push later with Maru's air superiority, that is not going to go well for Cure. So Cure instead trying to make the game a little bit messy, setting 4 medevacs on a trajectory towards natural expansion of Maru. Now, unfortunately, Maru is already quite well prepared for this. He has 1 missile turret in position, another one's being produced right now, and a siege tank already in position as well. Cure, he's going to unload regardless. One medevac gets taken out by the missile turret. A second one does too. SCVs are falling here for Maru, but I think that Maru, especially with these Liberators, is in good control of his position.
Yeah, he's going to come in here with these Liberators. 10 SCVs down. Marine's actually going to be able to take out these Liberators up here. That's actually not bad. For a little exchange there. Pretty scrappy game thus far. Combat shield's almost done here as well. Does appear that Kira's going to try to hit up here from the bottom, up towards where the third base is. This game's completely action-packed from start to finish.
A lot of crucial upgrades finishing on both sides now. I was wondering whether Kira might try to rush into the third base while he was going for that drop of the natural expansion of Maru, but it seems like not enough forces at the front line for Kira to hazard a commitment at that third base. As you just see the gigantic swings in income between these two as the SCVs get pulled, as the battles take place near the mineral lines of the natural expansions of each of them over the course of this game. And things are quieting down now, but I like Maru's position quite a bit more. Even though the supplies are even, even though the work counts are very even, Maru has a significantly faster start with 2-2. And I think once those upgrades finish, Maru should have a very good window to get some damage done.
I think so. Kira's going to come in these moments and try to force some fights. It's actually Maru who darts out and then runs back, forcing a siege in a position that's not really that helpful. I think he's probably going to be blocked out of there. I don't think he can get much done from there. No one on a fourth base just yet either.
Maru, in fact, significantly faster on the fourth base production. About halfway done with his fourth command center, where Kira just threw his down at the natural expansion. God, I almost called Kira Shin. I'm still thinking of GSL Season 1 semifinals.
So we're going to have him wrap around the bottom here. Again, you got to be really careful to be scanning the whole time, TVT. You got to know what you're walking into. You got to make sure that, you know, if you missed up and you get into, never mind just tank sieged up, even just stim Marines and you're in a bad angle, you'll lose everything.
Oh, medevac gets sniped there. Nice move by Kira pushing forward. Honestly, a very good trade there for Kira.
Yeah, Kira coming out just slightly ahead there. The fourth base is going to be taken. Another scan here. You're basically always scanning that army to make sure you know where it is. Going to send up a Liberator over here.
Another engagement going Kira's way. One Marine and one SCV for that Liberator as the work counts are evening up. Both players kind of hitting the brakes on SCV production as they fully saturate these three bases. And now this is a big change coming in here for Maru. He's throwing down 2 more starports on his side of the map. No fleet beacon yet. It would be a little bit early to go into BCs. So I think this is likely just to get a couple more medevacs out and to really solidify the position.
Oh my God, these tanks. Ooh, good save there by Kira. Sometimes the easiest way to lose control of a game is to just have a bunch of tanks die out, you know, and then they're able to push you and control the map a little bit better. Here comes a drop up here into the main. There is basically preparation for this. Oh my God, this is disastrous here. Kira's gonna lose all this. Does kill 10 more SCVs actually. So I didn't realize how many Marines are actually up at the top. So he kills off all the workers there. Actually not so bad after all.
Stem forward again here by Kira, just trying to trade out as cost effectively as possible. Unfortunately, with those missile turrets at the south side of this expansion, there really is no way to go. Eventually, these medevacs are going to get cleaned up. I'm not sure if that's a worthwhile trade here for Kira, losing 4 full medevacs worth of units for a dozen or so SCVs in the main base, but the supplies are still even.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? I think the math is a little fuzzy on how that comes out. Like, yeah, you got some workers, but you did try, especially the 4 medevacs themselves, you know, sometimes more than the tanks and the Marines there. He's going to go for round 2 here. So he could end up feeding 8 medevacs in here. But it all depends on what damage he actually gets here. I think that Maru's going to try to move through the bottom to the left, try to hit the third. And this would be a great moment to move in with what he's got here.
Okay, so the extra starports that Maru added, Maru built 2 more starports during that last engagement. He's put tech labs on both of them, and he's gotten a couple more Ravens out. He's now switching the add-ons with 1 starport here of a natural expansion. But the fact that Maru is now adding in Ravens this stage of the game makes me think that he's gearing up to try and go for some kind of big fight in the next couple of moments.
Yeah, here comes a drop over here into the natural. There is a tank siege up on the other side. Meanwhile, Maru's going to come through and cut up this position. There is a tank just a little bit north of this. Meanwhile, it seems that the drop will eventually be cleaned up.
are going to retreat out of this location, go into the main base on top of the production. There is a siege tank in position waiting for these Marines. So it seems like eventually this drop, I was going to say, will flounder out here in the main base, but actually trading really well with these Marines coming out of the reinforcing barracks.
I mean, this has been pretty chaotic. I think Cure maybe down overall. I mean, the worker count's even enough that it might not matter. Maru is down slightly, but I think the army supply here and just the overall positioning is better for Maru. Cure is on 3 bases right now. Now, he's going to land that command center again, but I think in this window of time with Maru already being ahead in supply by about 20, he could really leverage this if he could basically play the next couple of minutes pretty well. Now, Cure is staying active, which could be good. It could also blow up in his face. I didn't even realize he actually relocated the command center from the natural. So yeah, he's kind of on thin ice here.
Oh yeah, he's pulling it all the way down to the 6 o'clock position.
Yeah.
It's a huge interruption in income here for Cure.
3-3 done for Maru.
Yeah, 3-3 finish for Maru already as Maru's continuing to churn out Ravens too. And once these Ravens get enough energy, I think it could be Maru who gets very aggressive on the map. Cure, he's trying to get his jabs in where he can. I mean, any kind of damage can get done like this. Just dropping with 2 medevacs, picking off a couple of siege tanks, a couple of SCVs. If you're able to get out with this, it's a huge win here for Cure. Because right now, he's nearly down and out. It might not seem like it, but Maru, he's been able to safely establish more bases. He has more command centers set up. He has sensor towers pretty much everywhere. Seeing the army movement here of Cure. And Maru's also building the better army. He's got 5 Ravens in total now. And so in a position like this one, the Ravens could just come in and completely disable all these siege tanks, Tasteless.
Oh my God! He's going to lose everything. The counterplay from here is going to be devastating if Cure's not got some kind of an answer. And I don't know that he's going to have, you know, the physical presence on the map to deal with this. I mean, look at this. It's going to be a beeline going straight down here. Could go to the expansions, could go right up into the main. I think they're all right answers at this point in time.
I mean, the Ravens here are just like the ace up the sleeve of Maru. They are an answer to absolutely everything that Cure has got. The only thing that Cure can do to try and stop this push is to try and hold a position with siege tanks, but the Ravens make that nigh undoable as Maru once more stims forward. The siege tanks are getting entrenched. Another disable pops on Cure's tank, and Maru is going to take a convincing Game 1 win.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Again, from start to finish, Maru just a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. He's just, you know, able to kind of engage in a way that, and you know, it's funny because Cure looks really strong, but you can see the decision-making basically throughout the whole game is maybe a little bit better there for Maru. You know, there are these moments where Cure seems to like go for these drops, and I'm not sure what he thinks he's going to accomplish in them. It almost feels like he's kind of, you know, blindfolded, throwing, you know, darts at a board. Like, is this gonna stick? What will stick? When I watch Maru play, it seems a little bit more thought out. It seems to be hinged on a lot of theory about how this could get him further ahead. Like, we had 2 drops there where it's like, he's just gonna go to the main from Cure. All right, he lost the medevacs there and everything in it. Now, he's just gonna go to the natural. You know, and Maru's almost basically keeping enough back here to, while he's still, you know, carving out his position on the map, he's still got enough to basically kill off whatever Cure does. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We're going to go to Ruby Rock here for map number 2. This makes me think of, this is like a really old conversation I had at like WCG 2005. The best Terran player in the United States was named Yosh.
Okay.
It was Froz and Yosh. They've been, Yosh was like basically regarded as the best TVT player. And I always said, like, well, how do you play the matchup? And he said this really weird thing. He said, I just never attack first. he said, what I do is they drop me and I go in there and I kill their drop. And I remember when he told me that, I kind of went, what? And obviously this is for a different StarCraft, right? But the idea was so weird. I was like, you just don't attack them? And he was like, yeah. And this guy would go like 50-6 like on international ladders where I'm like, okay, well, clearly it's working. But you kind of see the idea at play sometimes in TVTs where, like, as long as they're ready to stop the drop, that you're going to be overextending over and over again. So anyways, I would talk more about that, but this game's already heating up here. We have a hidden second Rats.
Yeah, Maru going for a proxy barracks. The second barracks proxied over here on the top right side of the map. Very close to the main base here of Cure, all things considered. I wonder what Maru is able to get done with this. Now, when you see a 2-Rax Reaper like this, it has the potential to be game-ending if things snowball out of control. But even if it flounders, it's not the end of the world here for Maru. You can lift that barracks back up at home as long as you get some damage done on Cure's side of the map. It is a tenable position. Let's see how this one's going to go. If Cure opts for a low ground command center, for instance, it could be very dangerous. Actually going for a reactor first.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, reactor first into a factory with no SCV scout here for Cure.
Oh my God, this could be, I mean, we'll see. But you know, reactor, it takes a long time to make, and obviously you're not making anything until the reactor is done. And the problem is, even if things come out in pairs, the accumulation of Reapers could be enough to pretty quickly cause fatal damage.
Yeah, I think it's a very good thing here for Cure that he's going into Reactor with Reapers.
Yeah.
There is going to be a window where Maru will have the advantage, but you know, Reactor Reapers, it kind of mitigates the effect of the second barracks a little bit. I'm just, I'm concerned.
You will know who's going to win this in seconds here. So he's going to send 2 in here. He's going to see the reactor. He's going to see the Hellion just started. And so you know it's all about the setup. It's all about the setup. He's going to throw another factory out here. Wow. Crazy. How many Reapers are on that side of the map? There's 3 now, right?
Yeah, Maru's got 3, I think, with the 4th one about to pop. Cure currently only with 2. So the question is, when is Maru actually going to try and commit? Because, you know, Reapers, even though you're reactoring them out, they take a long time to produce.
Maybe I didn't understand the math on this that well. Does he just barely have enough now with 4 Reapers and then a second Hellion? Maybe you can't do enough. Obviously, grenades will fuzzy the math on that as well.
I think that Maru's just going to have a little bit too much. It will only be a couple more Reapers here for Maru. But if Cure thinks that he can get a lot done with this, I'm concerned for this position because I feel like a lot of the information that Cure is playing with, he just doesn't have the complete picture for what's going on right now. And you see that Cure is moving halfway across the map trying to get damage done on Maru's side of the board, whereas Maru is just waiting.
Yeah, and he's going to see this is walled in. Now you can get Reapers up here, but that's going to prompt Maru to come up here with even more Reapers. And I mean, you are going to kill workers so fast with this. The tank is not even halfway done. Oh my God, it is a bloodbath here. There is so much damage coming out. He kills the 2 Marines immediately. The Hellion is chipping away here at the entrance. 2 more Marines are going to come out. They're going to chase the Reapers away, but he's going to jump back in. Where? Oh my God, I think he surrounded it with SCVs.
Oh no!
Oh my God, this is so bad. Yeah, he must have gotten a surround.
Yeah, he must have. Oh man, in a moment like this one, Cure probably just a little bit too focused on the defense at home. The Reaper is getting surrounded at the main base of Maru. I think just spells disaster here for Cure. I'm not sure how you come back from this. You know, we're trying to analyze the position, assuming that Cure is getting equivalent damage done in the main base of Maru, but that was not the case.
Well, you would imagine that both sides would have their supply or their worker counts plummeting to where the game slows down to a production crawl. Now the seesaw back over to the other side of the map. I mean, all he's got to do is basically pick off the tank. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I mean, he has basically every early game unit you can have besides the Raven, I guess. So, you know, he's got higher numbers. The new command center over here, by the way, he has 1 SCV mine in it, so it's not like he's getting a whole bunch of other resources. So Cure's at a disadvantage right now. He's going to lose the barracks, which is insane because that's 1 less production building. Maru doesn't have an extra base. He's on 4 production buildings. Never mind, he's on 3 because this one's floating over here. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and with Liberated production underway here for Maru, it seems like his game plan is to try and just slow push into the natural. Actually, hold that thought. These 4 Reapers getting in the main base. The Vikings actually landing. How many you see landed Vikings versus Reapers? See here in the GSL offline finals, Reapers getting a lot of economic damage done. 6 SCVs are going to fall before the Vikings finally clean this up. Maru, he's gearing up to push into this with a Liberator, but the fact that Cure has been able to reactor out so many Vikings, means I don't think it's possible for Maru to actually breach this position. You know, it's kind of crazy. You would think after seeing the Reapers get surrounded and cleaned up in the main base of Maru that Cure would have a hard time holding on, but these Vikings are just keeping Cure alive right now. You actually see Maru going for a second starport to try and bridge that gap.
Yeah, he has to basically play catch-up here with that. So, I'll tell you what, Cure, he's still in this game. He's down a lot in workers. He's still, you know, basically hurting from the way this game started out. But the game goes on. Inconveniently, a lot of the infrastructure here for Maru is in the middle of the map. I don't know if there's a way to come out and punish that. That's an idea that could play a role here, but I think also if Maru kind of just stays on top of this position, there's no way for Cure to really go too far out on the map without the counterattack coming in and punishing.
Maybe, but I mean, the Viking count for Cure is just so high.
Yeah.
Now Maru is building Vikings 3 at a time. I honestly think Vikings are just the best unit in TBT.
Yeah, like, a lot of times, yeah.
I mean, so much of all of the meaningful early and mid-game interactions hinges on how much damage you're able to get done with Vikings or who has more Vikings. Is that that's a third starport already here for Maru.
Yeah.
Because he's likely going to be lifting this one in the main base. Oh, I thought that, but now he's sending the factory back. This is crazy. We're going to have 3 starport Viking production for Maru to the 2 starport Viking production of Cure.
And there's another one being made for Cure behind his minerals.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, you know, Maru could basically stay out on this outer perimeter area and kind of ensure that, you know, the third base can be delayed as much as he's able to delay it. Oh, wow. Is this a wise decision? He's going to siege up, and he could even try to hit the reactor or the starport itself. Now, this is pretty high risk, because if he lifts off and he doesn't have enough over here, he loses everything. So these Vikings are kind of stuck down here.
I think this is a really smart move by Maru, though, because you don't really need to lift your own Vikings up into the superior numbers of Cure. The siege tanks are protecting them. So Cure actually doesn't have an easy way of getting the Vikings out of his main base.
Oh my god, he doesn't kill that. He lifts. Okay, Cure should be able to win this fight. Hold on, there's 2 more Vikings up at top.
Oh, the Cyclone doing a lot of damage as well. It's a nearly even trade. I think so much of this going Maru's way is just the fact that Maru's economy has been bigger the entire time.
Yeah.
Cure is doing a pretty good job of keeping tabs and kind of doing this funky dance with Maru and all these little tiny engagements, but Maru just has more stuff.
Yeah, he's going to finally kill this tank off. He's just going to slide the tanks up a little bit further over to the side here. Again, production buildings are getting punished in a way that you just don't even normally see this early on.
Cure's building 2 more starports.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's going to have just enough Vikings that Cure can't really assert himself here on the map. And he's going to have at least 3 coming at a time, it looks like. We're seeing them get trafficked across the map. Now, he can also kind of camp over the starports with his own Vikings and probably hit the other Vikings when they come out. And, you know, we were talking about Vikings being so important, State, and one of the main reasons is that they can actually spot for the tanks, so you don't need scans to basically see, you know, because tanks shoot further than they can actually see, obviously. But I think we are almost to the end of this game. We're almost to this conclusion. Not only is the command center being hit, the starport at the top here is taking damage, and it's hard to imagine you ever have enough Vikings. By the way, eventually these Vikings can land and take a fight. Like they're going to have to do right now to basically block for the tanks.
SCVs get pulled. Cure trying to breach this position, but Maru with just a chokehold at the natural expansion, able to demolish the entire economy here from Cure.
GG.
Wow. What a interesting game number 2. I wonder what that would have looked like if the Reapers didn't get surrounded the main base of Maru. I mean, my heart kind of breaks for Cure because I feel like the defense was so good back at home, even without those Reapers.
Yeah.
That if he was able to get meaningful damage done in the main base of Maru, I mean, Maru, almost his entire production infrastructure was proxied on the map, you know? You would think the Reapers would get so much damage.
I think it's just, you know, you were literally both having to micro 2 screens at the same time. And, you know, Reapers, really you have to be microing them the entire time, right? So whatever happened, those Reapers got surrounded. And, you know, it's funny, the end of the game was actually a pretty interesting way to conclude the game, but it did come down to the fact that Maru got way more worker kills. and kept his Reapers alive and was able to just kind of leverage that. Let's see if we can get a situation like we had in our ZVP earlier today with Rogue versus Hero. I mean, there we saw Rogue at least come back and win the next two. But I got a feeling that might not be happening this time. Right now, Maru looking so much stronger than Cure. Cure with no, I don't know. I don't know what he can really do when you're seeing Maru play this perfectly as he always does. Guys, game 3's ready. Let's go.
All right, Maru spawning as the blue Terran in the top right corner. Cure the red Terran in the bottom left.
Okay, so we have an SCV coming right across the map, by the way. We have different casters for this this year here, the Korean side, so they're doing the player intros like they've done before. But there are 2 SCVs going right across the map, and Cure is going to try to give Maru a taste of his own medicine.
A very aggressive proxy Shurax Reaper coming in.
And this is literally like as close as you can get.
SCV cut as Cure's trying to afford this second barracks. Let's see if this is going to be the start of a comeback here for Cure.
Yeah.
I would love to see this series go to a game number 4 or a game number 5.
No scout at all yet for Maru, although he'll probably send his out in a little bit. And whenever you see the double racks versus someone who's playing normally with a single racks in their base, it really comes down to how, you know, assuming the game doesn't end immediately, it comes down to like how do the first couple shots get fired from the Reaper. Sometimes you'll see the Reapers kill like the first Reaper, the second, or the Marines, or whatever it's going to be, and then it's like, well, this game's going to fall apart pretty fast.
Maru going for the instant reactor here on this barracks with the factory follow-up. So a similar build, almost an identical build to what Cure did in game number 2.
Total reversal. Although in game 2, Maru had 1 barracks back at home. So this is going to hit even harder, and it's going to hit even faster. And again, sometimes that damage is fatal. We're going to see. The reactor is going to finish. Every second that you're late on something could put you that much closer to a loss here. Usually the number that you move in there with is 3, by the way.
If Cure could see what we could see, he would move in right now and try and deny that factory, but he does not have the complete information that we do. So instead just banking for 3 Reapers, or in fact just 2. So he's going to move in. He might get the deny on this factory. 99% done. Another SCV coming in will complete the factory, but Cure buying a couple precious seconds with that delay.
Going to go for the auto repair there. 4 SCVs have already been killed. And the number is going to go up. Okay, so the first snipe. Oh, he takes it out. Grenade pops it over.
Oh, this is a great start here for Cure. Maru moving a little bit too far forward with that initial Reaper, and Cure able to snowball it. Gets the snipe. First Hellion is out now for Maru as Cure heals a little bit, comes back in.
The Hellion makes it a lot harder to get in here and really do a whole lot. He's going to pull SCVs. So the Reaper and the Hellion are kind of on the opposite side of the SCVs. They're almost like separated from this fight. So he's tanking damage. 13 SCVs are going to be killed. He's going to run down here. Sometimes when you jump down, the Hellion shots really stack on the Reapers.
Yeah, so the economic damage, it's mostly done. 14 SCVs have fallen, but Cure's not going to have the critical mass of Reapers to try and get into the main base of Maru again, and that's why he's lifting up one of these barracks already to get the scouting information and trying to anchor the defense back at home. And I think that Maru, after losing this many SCVs, you have to one base all in. I don't think even a player of Maru's caliber, regardless of how good Maru is in a macro game, regardless of how good he is at comebacks, I don't think you can come back in a macro game versus what Cure is doing.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. He might, but I think your theory is pretty sound there. So, there are more attacking units out right now for Maru. But, Terran can button up pretty tightly, and it's kind of hard to get in there and really do anything to him, right? There's a bunker here. Bunkers, nothing's going to be worse against bunkers than Hellions and Reapers. You basically can't fight him at all with Reapers. So he's going to run back out. And this is cute. He's just going to make one Reaper back here, one Marine, I guess.
Oh, he's rallied it onto the lowest HP SCV2. He's going to let that finish.
Well, that's kind of cool.
I mean, Maru's on such a low worker count, it makes sense just to trade 50 minerals in a Marine for 50 minerals in an SCV. Why not?
Ooh,
oh,
gamer alert. You saw it. Now, okay, that's going to be a GG. I was going to say, I'm like, what exactly does he want to do here? All right, well, Kier takes his first win. It was very much a great build order opening, countering what Maru did and had great execution. But what's he going to do in the next 2 games? If he can't come up with some kind of a solution, I think we can all agree Maru's probably going to be moving on.
Yeah, Maru still on match point, up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. Only 1 map win away from advancing to the grand finals to face Hero in that best of 7. Kier has to win the next 2 maps to survive and reach that grand final.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back.
My catchphrase, find my way, never need a whiz. Made my mark, yeah, I got played. 2 toes down, that's a back fade. We light it up, yeah, the night's on fire. Can't slow it down, we taking it higher. Keep it burning till the break of dawn. This is our time, yeah, we belong. Here we go, lights down, boots on the floor. Whole crowd jumping, they've been waiting. Show. Turn it up loud, yeah, you already know. Here we go, here we go. Ain't stopping till the whistle blow. Here we go, another round, let the good times roll.
GSL Season 2.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. It's time to go to the map Old Republic. And let's see what exactly Kier's got planned. It's not too crazy to expect a win like that in a game with these two players. But again, I worry in general about games that you can't really come in there with crippling blows right away, right? I mean, everybody wins StarCraft games with some kind of early game interaction, right? But the problem is that the longer a game goes on, the more impossible it seems for Kier to come up with anything. And so if we have Maru coming in here playing either conservatively or aggressively, and basically not slipping up early on, is Kier going to be able to come up with something?
Yeah, it's kind of the story of Kier versus Maru in their entire history, playing StarCraft 2, or at least in their recent history, as far back as I can remember, where Maru, he's just a master of late game TVT, of TVT in general. And Kier, you kind of saw it there in game number 1 and game number 2. It felt like he was playing with maybe an internal clock, a timer, telling him that he has to get some kind of damage and he has to get some kind of crippling blow dealt to Maru before Maru reaches the late game. Otherwise, it's lights out. That was the story to start off the series. He was able to steal a win in game number 3 with an aggressive build, but what will he do now in match point game number 4?
I'm just looking now. I'm like, are SCVs going out? Is anybody going to do it?
All right. No early SCV move out with either of these players yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, it's going to be, excuse me, much more in the realm of standard looking openings here. And of course, the winner of this is going to be going up against Hero here. Hero, by the way, has just been dominating everything StarCraft 2 related in the last couple of weeks, winning Season 1, GSL, just winning RSL, Season 5. And so in this game, it's going to be Maru with a double Rax. Now, double Rax is very safe. Birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. Let's leave this shot up a little bit longer here.
I was thinking the same thing.
Sorry.
For the slow readers in the chat.
Anyways, happy birthday to you. Now, yeah, let's see, man.
So Maru's going for this 2 barracks, although it's not proxied. So there is some potential for aggression coming in for Maru. I think he's going to try and at least delay the low ground expand here for Kier. Kier's doing this on the back of 1 barracks, but unlike the last couple of games where we had these early Reaper interactions, it's not a reactored barracks. So although Kier might have more Reapers out on the map right now, not going to be quite as many units early on here, as it doesn't have the extra production capacity from that reactor. And that might give Maru a window to get some damage done.
Okay. Oh, I love the ambush here from Kier. Great tactics, but doesn't end up paying off. Now this Reaper, if it has to bend at all when it turns, it could end up actually getting clipped and shot down, but it is not. Now a second Reaper is going to come up here. Now, remember, this is still double Rax Reaper. It's just not proxied. It's just a much safer version. This would automatically shut down if Kier were to do another double Rax Reaper. Okay, he's going to come up here now. He needs to kill the SCV that's making this. He does. Now the Reaper will heal. The Marines will not. Oh! He drops it.
Wow.
Maru miscontrols, a rare sight.
Nice little snipe there by Kier, able to push forward, snipe down 1 Reaper. Set up that bunker in the main base, and now these Marines, they can pivot back here into the main. They can get another Reaper. And this 2 Rax push from Maru, not getting the damage done that he was hoping for.
Yeah, kind of rare to see, you know, these little jabs backfiring and basically putting him further behind. Now the bunker obviously being done, the Reapers have no business being over here trying to do any more damage. Maru's command center is going to finish, so he's going to start the orbital. And things are kind of coming along a little bit more quickly here for Kier. He's basically ahead in this game. We'll see exactly where he wants to take this game from here.
Nice catch there by Maru, anticipating the move from Cure. Scout the third base location. Yeah, I wonder where we're going to go. Oh my goodness. I did not expect this. It's going to be Banshees and Hyperflight Rotors. So speed Banshee opening here for Cure versus Maru. Not something that you usually see in TVT.
No.
This might actually be the first TVT in GSL this year with Hyperflight Rotors. I can't remember the last time I've seen this.
I think so. So this is a real interesting twist in the game. Because I mean, I certainly wasn't even thinking about this as a possibility. I'm curious if Maru is going to be ready. Maru, remember, I mean, he had basically a weaker ground game position. And so he needs to be ready, you know, to possibly be overwhelmed by the ground. But Banshee's coming in here, you know, and basically taking out workers is a totally different story. Now he is, Maru is making a Cyclone. Or he made one, right?
Yes,
Am I crazy? Okay, yeah. He's getting a tank now. Now Cyclone can counter this, but you got to be over in the right place at the right time. Now the Cyclone's not made because he necessarily senses this is what's coming, right? I mean, Cyclones are kind of fix-alls for a lot of early game situations.
Yeah, so the positioning of the Cyclone when these Hyperflight Rotor Banshees come in is going to be very important here for Maru because it's one of the few units that can actually lock on and take out one of these Banshees. Cure's been waiting for two of them. Hyperflight Rotors finishing up now as the add-ons are getting switched. Cure doubtless going to be starting Viking production from that starport once the reactor is done. Now these Banshees going to zoom all the way across the map.
My God, they are fast here. Yeah. So where's that Cyclone now? Okay, so it's out here.
Maybe not the position you want it to be in, but how do you anticipate a move like this one, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty hard, man. I mean, there's moments like this, you basically have to just try to recover as best you can. So the Cyclone's going to be front, so he's going to get a lot of kills on the workers here in the main. Cure, again, his whole tournament life is on the line here. He's going to scan, and he's going to come in, and this is going to hit so hard. Maru reacts as fast as anybody could. And the auto turrets are going to come down, but I mean, with, you know, Hyperflight Rotors, you just sort of sidestep this. He's killed 8 SCVs.
It's a nice start here for Cure. The Cyclone not even able to get a lock on. The Banshees just zoom out of the main base. And now Maru, he can't mine from the third either. The command center is here landed, but the SCVs, Maru, he's sending a couple more. I think those might have been rallied from earlier on.
Yeah, I think so.
You have to just defend the main base and the natural mineral lines. You cannot try to defend a third mineral line right now. There's just not enough units.
Yeah, he's going to push out. He's realizing he's in a really good position here. And Stim's going to finish for Maru when this ground army gets up there. By the way, there's no medevac with this. Oh my God, is he getting a little too crazy?
The Vikings are out, but what Cure is doing is he's pulling all of Maru's forces back into the main base. And so even though these Banshees will now get cleaned up, Cure is able to establish position outside the third base of Maru, prevent Maru from mining from that orbital.
This could be a mistake. Without medevacs here, he can't get back out. Is this going to work? I don't think so. I think that Maru is pretty ready for this. This feels like a very unsafe position. He does have 2 medevacs, by the way, so there is the option to pick up. Raven's ready. And the tank is kind of like off to the side here. Nice save.
It's a good move. Maru is going to go for one more stim. There aren't that many Marines here on the front. Armor shredding missile going to connect on everything, though.
Needs to boost that medevac, or he's going to lose that, too. Okay, he pulls just out of range of siege mode.
And well managed by Maru, just pursuing until Cure had enough reinforcements that it was no longer worthwhile. So when all is said and done, a lot of economic damage was done to Maru, but it's mitigated by the fact that Maru went for such a fast third command center. It's now only a 61 to 56 worker advantage here for Cure. So nearly even economically. And one thing that Maru definitely has going for him, which Cure yet does not, is a significantly faster upgrades coming in with 2-2. The armory just now finishing here for Cure. And so where does Cure take the game from here? Do you add in some extra starports and try to mix in more Vikings? Do you make a Raven transition eventually, the same way that Maru did in game number 2? Or do you go back to the drop harassment? It almost feels like this is too obvious the move for Cure. He's been trying this already earlier on in the series.
Well, we saw this in game 1 where it just feels like occasionally he's just like kind of YOLO dropping places. And that's when you're giving the game up to chance. If you know you can get in somewhere and do damage, that's different than if you're just kind of being, really fast and trying to do a bunch of things, and you might end up feeding into their army.
That's kind of interesting the way that Cure is playing this. He's not making any Vikings at all. He has those four medevacs, and he's making more. And instead of adding in an additional starport, it's actually a second factory that is built here by Cure. So Cure is favoring just raw power over having air superiority here versus Maru, perhaps hoping that Maru maybe overcommits to the Viking count. But I'm not sure how that's going to go for Cure. Vikings are one of the best units in this meta for a very good reason. They just pair up so well with Siege Tanks. They pair up so well with Liberators. At either going for a slow push on your opponent's side of the map or at entrenching in a defense on your side of the map. And even though Cure will inevitably have more Siege Tanks, I think, with this second factory finishing up, although Maru already has his second factory done as well, not having air superiority to pair with that, it's very concerning to me, Tasteless.
Yeah. Right now, Cure just trying to take this position up here at the third base where Maru is and try to come in here and break it again. You were mentioning the different compositions here, air-wise.
It will mean that Cure is going to have a lot more meat on the ground to push in with. And you can see he's actually just going to stem forward right now.
Okay, he's going to go for the dive here. And, I mean, he is going to get through the first 3 tanks immediately.
Wow!
This is insane. Is it an overextension, though? Now, there's 5 tanks in the back. I think there's no way that this command center can stay on the ground. Cure's going to try to come in a little bit further. He's going to let the medevacs heal up a little bit more. And I think, what is there, 1 tank under that army?
I think it's just 1.
Yeah, I think, and actually, I think it's, well, now it's going to be 1. He's going to then come in with the next wave of Marines. He's going to take that one out. I think he can just go in for the kill move. I think that Cure is going to have done it. He is going to basically tie this up 2-2.
My goodness, Cure with his push without Vikings just having way more army on the ground, able to push in. There aren't enough Ravens to actually disable all these tanks. Cure fights back. We're all tied up 2-2.
Dude, what a great game.
Oh, I have to kind of rethink my understanding of TVT with that play coming out from Cure.
Yeah.
To go for no Vikings whatsoever, to do everything with just raw power in mind and try and hit at a timing attack where perhaps Maru's being a little bit too greedy, going for the second and third starports, going for the Raven transition. I mean, Cure just played that perfectly. There was one window for him to push in and take a perfect position on the third base of Maru. Force that base to evacuate, and then siege up in the natural expansion. And that was the time to do it. So a very well-played game from Cure, and this is going to have a ripple effect here in a game number 5 now, because if Maru tries to play the same style that he did in previous games in this series, you now have to wonder, is Cure actually going to be going for this sort of timing attack where he has way more army than you because he's playing for a less refined composition?
Yeah. I mean, Cure, I guess he showed that when you're that much ahead in army supplies, you can just rely on medevacs, basically, you know? You're not going to be able to spell cast your way out of that, especially after you know, the armor debuff is cast and is worn off. So this is it, guys. The final match between these two. The winner goes on to face off against Hero here in the finals of Season 2 of the GSL. Okay, let's look at the SCVs. Did anybody send anything out across the map?
Seems to be a quiet start between these two. No early SCVs just yet. Maru spawning in the top left. Cure down here in the bottom right, by the way.
Yeah. Cure has definitely made some big adjustments here and is playing a different game. Maru is setting an SCV out on the map. And has there been a barrack start? Yeah, there's a barrack started inside the main. So I guess this is going to be probably what we saw in game 2, which is a barracks on the map.
Oh, it's Gemini. Hey, Gemini.
Hello, Gemini. What was I saying? Oh, it's going to be like the build we saw in game 2 is what I wanted to say. So it might even be the factory like added in afterwards.
Yeah, the proxy factory and starport as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. You know, in that game number 2, Cure was able to get a couple of Reapers into the main base of Maru, but it didn't actually convert into anything because Maru got this magnificent SV surround, which was just off screen. Every single Reaper was cleaned up. And so it's kind of confidence inspiring here for Maru to go for the same build here in game number 5. Because the way that I looked at game number 2, I was thinking, you know, well, maybe if he microed the Reapers correctly in the main base, if he wasn't so focused on trying to defend on his side of the map, I really like Kura's position in that game number 2. It kind of made me think that we wouldn't see the build again here from Maru. So maybe this could be a little bit of a deviation from what we saw before. I'm curious to see if there's going to be a factory proxied or a starport proxied with this.
Okay, he's not going to see it. This is, by the way, roughly the same spot. I know it's a different map, but kind of the same area.
Oh, SCV's going to scout it.
Oh my god, but he doesn't see the factory. By the way, spacing that out is deliberate. In case you are spotted, it's kind of an insurance play. You still don't see the whole big picture.
Okay, nice.
Okay,
nice here for Cure.
Double Reaper coming out for the defender means you've got to leave.
It was a little bit scary when Maru's Reapers were encroaching on that barracks. You would think that if he got a jump on the first Reaper, things could snowball.
So is there anything special you can do with this SCV? Can you proxy anything on their side of the map? I guess probably not.
I don't think so. I think right now Curtis needs to focus on the defense. The best thing this SCV can do is actually get scouting information, see if there's a low ground expand here for Maru.
Okay, he's not going to be able to get in.
And I think also seeing no command center here on the high ground also tells a little bit. Although it would be kind of crazy if Maru went for a high ground expansion with how much map control he has right now.
Okay, factory and starport. Now, Cure hasn't really taken any damage at all, but he does not have anywhere near as much. So, you know, I hope for Maru's sake he doesn't try to jump in here because the Hellion lineup is going to be insane. No way! Whoa! Oh my God!
Oh, that's a disaster here for Maru. 4 Reapers.
Maru's got a smile on his face. You know in the Blade movie where Blade throws the ninja star and it kills like 3 or 4 vampires? That's what that was.
Oh, and now he can get on top of the production. Oh my goodness.
I think Cure's going to win this, guys.
Has Cure done it? Maru, he's trying to transition out of this. He's building a command center at home. But I think jumping up that wall with the Reapers might have just spelled his demise. Now, he can pop out this Cyclone and then immediately lift it up with the medevac if he wants to. But, oh, man, Cure catching all of the Reapers as well. This is just too much damage.
I still cannot believe he went up there. You know there's going to be Hellions there.
The counterpunch coming in from Cure. He knows most of the production here for Maru is proxied on the other side of the map. There are 3 Reapers in the main base with no answer to them.
Oh my God, he's going to send the Cyclone back. So, you know, SCV casualties are just adding up over here.
$30 SCVs, 27 in Kira's favor now. Kira already mining from the low ground here at the natural expansion and producing SCVs 2 at a time.
I'm not sure the best way to play this. I was going to say, do you want to try to push there? Or do you want to try to punish the infrastructure? It looks like he wants to come in here and basically hit this.
I think if Cure...
Oh my God.
Man, I think as long as Cure camps, if he cleans up this infrastructure, there is no way. I think it is impossible for Maru to defend a timing push on the back of this.
Okay, he's going to kill the tank immediately. This tank will only be in this game for seconds. Now, the army that came down here to try to help defend is going to be picked off as well. The Viking, if it spawns, is never going to get back home. It can't fly away, it can't land.
Or he's trying to play for kind of a greedy game behind this, going for a 3rd command center in the main base right now, but there just isn't going to be enough production. The Viking pops, it trades out. The factory and the starport here are lifting.
You can see Cure's even playing a little bit defensively back at home, just knowing, okay, just keep him out. Keep him away of any kind of counterattack, which isn't going to happen, by the way.
Now, importantly, Maru started his starport before the factory was taken out, so he will eventually have starport production. The problem is that Cure's got so many production cycles out of the factory, out of the starport, that Cure has units that are just a tier higher than what Maru's got. Maru, it's pure Marines here on defense. It's going to be Marines in an SCV pull, trying to defend against the push from Cure. Whereas Cure, he's got Vikings, he's got Siege Tanks, he's still got that Hellion for splash damage.
Yeah, and Maru's basically going for like a super greedy double eBay, triple command center play, hoping the Cure maybe plays a little bit too shy and tries to play a slow game with his lead, and that's not happening because we see an attack coming out here right now. GG.
That's it.
Okay.
Wow.
Whoa, man, that's crazy. By the way, another GSL finals without Maru this year.
Honestly, a stunning upset. Maru takes the first 2 maps in the best of 5, and then Cure confirms the reverse sweep versus the best TVT player in the world. I'm surprised Maru ran back that build again after game number 2. Here in game number 5, you know, he got the better end of Cure earlier on in the series, but Cure just had the perfect answer to it in the final match. That's the one that matters the most. So once more, going to be a GSL finals without Maru.
Yeah, no 9th GSL title going to Maru here. Cure's gone on to the finals, and we're going to have Hero versus Cure to close out Season 2.
And it's going to be a very fun finals between these two. And honestly, thinking back to the GSL Season 1 and Season 2, Cure, his TVP is incredible. I might even think that his TVP is above Maru's right now. So this is just going to be a banger of a finals.
It's going to be good. It should be long, too. Cure and Hero have made for some extremely long, drawn-out PVTs.
Yeah, Cure is not afraid of trying to go for the exhaust play, where he just hunkers down on 3 or 4 bases, goes to build basically the supreme Terran army, and Hero expands, consumes the entire map, much like a Zerg player, and just keeps throwing waves and waves of units at him. I expect at least a couple of games in that best of 7 to go that way.
I think most of them will probably be that. Probably 1 or 2 cheesy ones, but man, I mean, just we couldn't ask for more exciting drama here between these two. Guys, we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back with the finals.
Incoming transmission.